In my old life, I was a general contractor. When I first started my business, I did doors and windows, mostly subcontracting for other contractors. Before that, right out of high school, I worked for a custom builder for 9 years. When I first started my business, I had an old K5 Blazer and a utility trailer. I actually ran this thing on waste motor oil for a long time. Also had a Mustang I really liked, but I ended up selling it for a work truck for my business. The first jobs I did were small jobs doing rot repair and leak fixes. Eventually, I got tired of working around the weather and switched to interior work. Interior renovation was what I did for the first 5 years before I moved out here. Ended up doing a lot of trim work like retreading stairs. Even had a small shop where I could refinish cabinet doors. Always seemed like one job led to another. I started doing entire bathrooms and tile showers. And then people wanted tile in their kitchens, so I did some tile backsplashes. I also did a lot of electrical work. It just kind of came with the renovating part of the job. Worked in some 200-year-old houses, closing up doorways, matching existing trim. Ended up finishing a fair amount of basements, too. I lived in town on 1/10 of an acre, a little 2-story, 100-year-old house. Lived the suburban life and really didn't like it a whole lot. I bought a little scooter one day and found out I really had a love for two-wheeled vehicles. Motorcycles was definitely one of my favorite hobbies. I would often drive them to measure jobs up and give quotes. I also liked old computers like this old Commodore 128. My love for video games led me to building my own custom computers and even built a few for friends. One time I even went to Madison Square Garden and watched professional video games. Oh, and here's what I looked like without a full beard. Working 80 hours a week pretty much burned me out on my current lifestyle, although I did land some cool jobs like working in this MRI room. Gotta get pretty creative when you're not allowed to use metal tools on a job. I also tried to work on my own vehicles, although honestly I really wasn't that good at it. Another hobby I had was fixing old pocket watches. I would tear them all apart and put them back together and see if they worked. Eventually, I moved out to the country and rented some horrible trailer in the middle of nowhere. Wanted my own place, but land taxes were crazy there. I ended up buying this old camper and fixing all the leaks and gutting it and fully restoring it on the inside. I found a property in West Virginia where the land prices and taxes were 10 times lower, experimented with solar before I moved. I moved to an empty field in spring 2020 and promptly put up a storage building and built an outhouse out of old slab wood from a nearby sawmill. Took a couple weeks off for a brown recluse bite. Got a 10-year plan for this property and it's gonna be awesome.